Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Donna. There's been a tag floating around YouTube in the tarot community that is called My Best Advice, and it was started by Brian Cormack Carr, and his channel is wonderful. He's brilliant, and he has such a wonderful way of expressing himself and teaching and putting things in a way that you can sit and chew on them and absorb. So yeah, I really like Brian's channel, and we call him BCC too, Brian Cormack Carr. And I thought about this, what is my best advice? Gosh guys, I'm full of it. I've got so many things that I have been given, little pearls of wisdom throughout the years that have really helped me. Excuse me. But I think that there's something that is really important that I don't think I was ever really told, and it's more advice that I would have for you. And what that is that it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to cry. There's a reason why we have tears. Recently I sat with a very, very dear friend of mine as he left this planet, this plane. He had cancer. I believe I'd mentioned in one of my other videos that a friend of mine had cancer. It was basically all over. It was everywhere. And someone in his 50s shouldn't just be checking out, you know? You just don't expect it. But I really do good in those situations. I really do, for the most part. But I think for me, I was trying so hard to suppress how I was feeling and just trying to be a pillar of strength for the family. See, this is who I wanted to be. This is who I do try to be. Someone that you can come to and they will be strong for you in your dark emotional times. This is the person you want. And so then this is what I was doing. You see this Queen of Cups, and she's got the handkerchief over her emotions. She's holding them in. She's in great control of them. And that's good. You need to be in control of your emotions. You need to, there's a lot of emotions that you need to be able to harness. And, you know, it's not so much about holding everything in. It's okay to postpone a good cry, but it's not okay to cancel it entirely. And then, so this is what happened. I was holding everything in so tightly and being, you know, around his family and helping with planning the funeral and all of these things that once everything was planned and there wasn't anything left to do, I flipped the fuck out. And I still feel like I have a hangover today. I probably look like I have one too. But I feel better having released that pressure valve within me that I was trying to suppress. You know, from the time we are born, the first thing we do is cry. And then so often we're told not to. You know, as we get older, I mean, an infant crying is the way they communicate. But as we get older and we get speech and we're able to communicate our thoughts and feelings, and emotions. We are told not to cry. So many of us are told not to cry, and we're actually made to feel shameful for it. I know when I was a little girl, oh, and my dad was a beautiful man, by the way. I am not speaking about him in a negative light here, but I never did see my dad cry. Never. Not once. Not once. Not even when his identical twin and best friend died. I never saw him cry. I hope that he did in private, but he certainly could have cried in front of me. But whenever I was a little girl, I have a memory, well, I have several memories of being told to not cry. I think it made him uncomfortable. But I know one time I had fallen off of my tricycle and I had scraped my knee all to hell. I had blood running down my dadgum leg, and my mom was there and she was cleaning me up and everything, and she was telling me not to cry. You know, the whole, oh, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, that we often tell someone, don't cry. And then my dad marches in and he says, knock that crying off or I'll give you something to cry about. You know what I mean? I'm sure many of you have heard that too. We're taught at an early age to hold all that in and suppress it, and it's just, you know, you need to be okay for the sake of everyone else. I'm sure that my crying did make my dad uncomfortable. It probably annoyed the hell out of him, but I'm going to tell you something. If my knee's bleeding and hurting and I'm scared and I'm a little girl and there's blood and gosh darn it, I think I'm going to die, I probably need to cry about it. Just like if someone that I care very much about is done with his journey on this planet and it's going to be a long time before I see him again, I need to give myself permission to cry about it, regardless of how it makes anyone else feel. So yeah, it's kind of like we're conditioned from an early age to just hold all of that in, and it's not good for us. It's terrible for us. Tears are the body's release valve for emotion, and it helps us to let out things that would otherwise build up, like anxiety and anger and depression and things that we shouldn't hold inside. Sorry, I'm wiping myself, guys, because it's freaking hot out here, and I have poison ivy. You see that? This is what happens when you go hugging on a dog or a goat or somebody that has been tromping through the woods. Back on the subject here. You know, there's even a song, Big Girls Don't Cry. I mean, whenever I was a kid, here's my mom, she's listening to, you know, the music of the 50s and 60s because that was her genre, and that song, Big Girls Don't Cry. It's just kind of drilled into us in society that we shouldn't cry. We shouldn't cry. And there's times when it's really not socially appropriate to just sit there and just bust out and sob over every single stinking thing. But you know what? If it's coming, just try to let it out. Even if you have to go find a little corner or a closet or wherever, if you don't want to cry in front of someone, that's okay. But find a way to let it out before it absolutely overtakes you and just really, really ruins your day and the day of those around you. I know I was hell to be around yesterday afternoon. I just lost it. Not crying signals the brain to release cortisol and adrenaline, and that causes things to build up, and over time you can develop things like cardiovascular disease and even diabetes. In the short term, it raises your blood pressure and your pulse, and your anxiety. It can cause sleep problems. It's okay to cry. You can find, like I said, go find a corner or somewhere, go sit by yourself, you know, take a walk and cry. Do it. Don't feel bad or apologize for crying, ever. Because you were created this way. You're not a robot. You're a human being. And if you need to cry, then let her rip, Tater Chip, because you'll feel better after you did. Tears are very cleansing, and I think that that is my best advice for today. It'd be something entirely different 20 minutes from now, guys. So, yeah, don't let anyone make you feel bad for crying, for being human and being feeling. And yeah, that's it. So, okay, I'm going to link Brian Cormack Carr's, sorry, I'm going to link BCC's video in the description. And there's a lot of these videos going around, so check them out. They're really good. Lots of little bitty things to chew on and think about. Advice is always good, and it's free. Okay, bye.